Keeping this perspective in mind, today I, Utsa, and I, Anuradha, we are here to present our topic. Everyone has his own beauty, but not everyone. And it is rightly said that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Stop every now and then. Just stop and enjoy. Take a deep breath, relax, and take in the abundance of life. If you truly love nature, you will find beauty everywhere. Beauty is enjoyed in nature's lap. Beauty is joy in looking and comprehending the nature is God's most beautiful gift. Joy in looking at the beautiful nature rising on your motherland. Beauty is learning a lesson from the ocean that life is like an ocean. It can be calm and still. It can be rough and rigid. But in the end, it is always beautiful. Beauty is love, like Ganga River, which will cut a new path when it meets an obstacle. This embodiment of sound and rhythm, which creates poetry of spiritual expression, is called dance. In every step there is beauty. Beauty lies in the classical dance forms of India. Beauty is celebrating festivals and exclusive culture of the country. Beauty is in designing a rangoli, the national bird of India. Beauty is in the vast religions of India. Beauty is when people of different religions enjoy festivals together. Beauty is when the wives celebrate the fasting ritual, Karwa Chauth, to seek the prosperity and well-being of their husband. Beauty is when just a thread shows love between a brother and sister on Raksha Bandhan. Beauty is family. Beauty is realizing that family is not an important thing, but family is everything. Beauty is a love passed through generations. Beauty is a journey of love. The love from my grandmother to my mother, and then from my mother to me. Beauty is how a bride who is going to be a forever wife still stays Mama's little daughter. Beauty lies in true friendship. Beauty is when life becomes better with you. Beauty is seeing your country extend. Beauty lies in the spiritual heritage of India. And you spread happiness and peace amongst the people without discrimination. Beauty is not only taste. Beauty is a light in the heart. Beauty is when I as a stack would still say, I'm proud to be what I am, and I love the way I'm unique from others. You will also have a different perception towards beauty, but not much to say. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Thank you.
Hello, how you doing? That was a group from India that brought us that one. If you'd like to start yours from Iran, go ahead.
Hello. We are really happy for this communication, and thank you for accepting us in this speech.
Oh, yeah. More than welcome. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
As you know, we live in Iran, and Iran is a really nice country in Asia. And in the north of our country, we have Caspian Sea, and in the south part, we have Persian Gulf. Persian Gulf is a really interesting source of oil and gas. And after having this really God's gift, we have a really nice nature in the Persian Gulf. That it's Haro Jungle, and my friend is going to speak about Haro Jungle in Persian Gulf.
Hi. Hara is near Qeshm Island in Persian Gulf, and it's 200 square kilometers, and it's very beautiful. It has trees that are 3 to 6 meters tall, and with sticks and light green leaves.
And it has some trees, special trees that the trees have some fruits like a small peanut, as the size as the peanut, and they fall down and they make another tree without any interpreting of the people and the human beings. And it refined the water. As you know, the Persian Gulf has salty water, and it's refined the water and make the condition of the living for the creatures that live there better than before.
It's also a safe habitat for imaginary birds. Also, different kind of animals live there, like sea seal, lobster, stork, frog,
And just in the morning, the water comes down, and the roots of the trees are out of the water, and it gets oxygen from the weather and save it. And at night, when it flows, the water comes up, and when it happens, the tree has its own oxygen we're using during the night until the morning that will come tomorrow. Justice.
Tell us a little bit about your school.
About our school, we live in Tehran, and we are in Saba school. Our school, it's not related to the government. It's our school is managed by a really nice woman, which really concern and notice to every part of a person, like social and activities, and actually listening and learning, and she will collect all the conditions that we need for entering the university. And it's perfect. Our school is really perfect.
Yeah, I guess I've been talking to your school for 10 years, I guess, at different times. And I've met many very fascinating young ladies. Everyone I've ever met spoke perfect English. There must be a lot of very successful graduates of your school. What do you intend to do when you get out of high school? What would you guys like to do?
Yeah, I'm going to be a civil engineer after graduating from the high school, and making some buildings for the people who are not in a good condition in Iran, like some villages and this. Yeah, and you?
and I want to study IT engineering because I really like computer and all stuff about computers.
Oh wow, that's very good. Now, when you talk about good-looking people or beauty in that sense, many people think that the Persians or the Iranians are some of the best-looking people in the world. You know, historically, and you can even see that through what is it with people from your part of the world that makes them so attracted to everyone else?
Well, Iranians are really kind, and it will help each other in every part of their life. And if they notice and understand that one needs their helping, they will help, although it forced them in bad condition, but they try their best to help the others. and they are really kind with the guests that come with the other cities, with the other countries, or everything like that. They really respect the people, the human being, and just this.
That's a beautiful answer. That's very good. Okay, when we think of, I guess when we think of Iran here and Iran in the United States, it's not necessarily the same way. When you probably think of the United States and Iran, it may not necessarily be positive as well. But when you think about your area in particular, especially some of the abilities that you develop at your school, what are some of the things that you learn at your school about other people that really help you later on in life?
I didn't got your meaning in your question. Would you please repeat it again?
Okay, well, what is it through education that you can learn about other people that will help you out later in life? What by doing stuff like this, how does this help you out later in life?
Sorry, I think we have some problem with receiving your speak and your sound.
Oh, okay. Can you hear it all now or no?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay. As a future civil engineer, how is it important to understand what you're building for your customer?
It's good to be honest, and when you're going to do something and receiving some money actually for doing a work, you should be a completely human being and be honest in every work that you're going to do. Don't cheat, don't lie, and do the exact thing that the people ask you, and it.
Okay. And what are some of the qualities that you learn there at school that help you out, other than just classwork? What are some other things that your teachers teach you that help you out a great deal later on?
We have some working about environment and how to keep safe the animals and the nature, and our school has learned us how to do it. And we have some social activities like exactly the thing that we have now and the other examples. And we have some connection with the other people, and our manager and our teachers are trying to learn us. The life is not just learning and studying. You need to have some other some skills and abilities to do the other thing. The world doesn't need just studying. It needs more than it.
How many different languages can you guys speak?
Persian, English, and Arabic.
I also French for like 2 years, but it's not that good.
Oh, wow. And how long have you been learning English?
Since I was 6.
Wow.
Me too. Near 5 or 6 years.
Okay. And which language do you find most difficult to learn?
French. Yeah, French. You write something and you read it the other thing, and it's hard.
Okay. But you had no difficulty in English? English isn't difficult for you?
No, but I love it. Yeah, and English needs to continuous. For example, remembering all the words in your mind and be able to use it as now you're speaking.
Yeah, see, you guys do that amazingly because, I talk to you just like we're halfway across the world and you can answer questions. Do you think in English now too, as well as being able to speak English so well?
it's really hard to be able to speak as much as a native English language expect us. But in the short time we had, we tried our best to be able to talk with you as best as it's possible for us. And I think we were not too bad.
Oh no, it's incredible. I've always been blown away because many students in the United States, English is not their first language anymore. And most of the people I've ever met from your school or Quran either can speak English remarkably well, and then maybe even better than some of my own students. So I always like to compliment the people who are teaching English there because they're doing such a fantastic job.
Yes, thank you. It's your kindness.
No, I mean, it's really amazing because we've had debates with people from your school. We've had presentations from people at your school. Always very, very, very impressive. And I cannot tell the amount of times I said, well, I think we need to just go to Iran and try to find some English teachers because they evidently are doing a fantastic job. If we could do as good a job as you guys are doing, maybe we could all speak Farsi.
Farsi is a really nice language. It has lots of the meaning in the heart of every word.
Mm-hmm.
And when you use a word, you are using a really word of the meaning. And I love Farsi more than English, and it's an interesting word for me.
Oh yeah, many of my relatives came from Persia, so I have a deep respect for that, for my ancestors. But I would love to have learned Farsi at some time in my life. But it's very fascinating, and like you say, some of the poems, poetry, and some of the writings in Farsi are just absolutely amazing. I think you could get a whole nother beauty when you think about the ancient cultures that have transpired in your country.
Do you know any words in Farsi?
No, I don't. I used to remember like hello or something, but I can't even remember anything now. Tell us some words in Farsi while we're waiting. I think we're waiting on Quran too and a couple of schools in Afghanistan, but go ahead and tell us about some words in Farsi.
I suggest you to learn some words in Farsi and maybe start learning another language like Farsi because it's really interesting. It's really amazing.
Oh yeah. The people in Turkey try to teach me some Turkish. The people in Lebanon were trying to teach me some French. I know just a little bit of Spanish, and I studied German when I was in school. But like your friend was saying there, sometimes, studying and knowing are two different things, especially here in the United States. We could take years of language and all we do is just translate and you forget it.
Well, I really appreciate for accepting having this communication with us. And if you let us, we have to go.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's not any problem, making...
It's no problem. We're just being joined by another school here, so I thought maybe they could, but I have a video. If you guys need to go ahead and go, and then we'll see you next time. Next week we have a cooking show, or actually a deal about pastries and stuff if you're going to join us then. And we'll see you the next time, okay?
Well, it will be our honor to be with you again. And thank you, really thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Qurad's on as well now, too. Your friends across the city there, I guess. So we'll say goodbye, and thank you so much, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Hello. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Go ahead and share us with your thing on beauty, please. Then we'll go to Quran. Go ahead.
Rija. One second. Actually, the PC. One second. Actually, it has been paused. I'll just join you guys back. Actually, it has been paused.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello, Iran.
So hi, it's joined back. Now I could continue.
Okay, go ahead.
رفتی رو صفحه اون خانم کاریس کن. خب میخوایم بیایم بیرون از میتونیم بفرستیم تلویزیون صدا داره تلویزیون چون اشتیان بستیم.
India has been one of the most diverse country in the world.
Okay.
The subcontinent of India lies in South Asia between Pakistan and China and Nepal. To the north, it is bordered by the world's highest mountain chain, where the foothill valleys cover the northmost of the country's 26 states. Further south, plateaus, tropical rainforests, and sandy deserts are bordered by palm-fringed beaches.
India has almost all the things you desire of. You get everything: plateau, coastal lines, everything, mountains, hills, everything you think of.
It is a 5,000-year-old civilization, 325 languages spoken, 1,652 dialects, 18 official languages, 29 states, 5 union territories, 3.28 million square kilometer area, 7,516 kilometers coastline, 1 billion people in 2000 in the year 2000.
On an average, the population of India increased by almost 20% each year.
It is a parliamentary form of government, secular democratic constitution, world's largest democracy since 55 years, fourth largest economy, fastest growing IT superpower, Indian Railways, the biggest employer in the world.
Let's try and find out the history of India.
India's history goes back to 3200 BC, when Hinduism was first founded. Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism, Judaism, Christianity and Islam all exist within the country today.
The Trinity generates from Brahmana, observes Vishnu and destroys Shiva.
There are two great Indian epics, the Ramayana, the first Indian epic, Mahabharata, longest epic in the world literature with 100,000 two-line stanzas.
Mahabharata is made up of the language which is nowadays not spoken but famous, which people like to learn, which is Sanskrit, and it has the proper Sanskrit which can be understood by a great person who is well known for its Sanskrit.
The Indus Valley Civilization, one of the world's first great urban civilization. Harappa civilization was started in 2700 before Christ.
World's first university in Takshila was in 700 BC. which was before Christ. Ayurveda, earliest school of medical science known for humans. Sanskrit language most suitable for computer softwares which have been used in the world since a long time.
Yoga was made in India. It was found in 5000 BC. It documented by 200 BC to 300 AD.
We observe the yoga is important for health and all thanks to the India which helps the whole world to keep healthy.
Origin of martial arts. India also found the martial arts in 200 BC. It is also known as Kalari Payat.
August 1947 was the day when India became independent. On 26 January 1950, India became republic. These are the national holidays.
This is the national emblem of India. The word Satyamev Jayatev refers to truth alone triumphs.
Indian people believe that guests are equivalent to God.
The national animal of India is the Bengal tiger.
The national bird of India is peacock.
The national flower is lotus.
The great Indian professionalists.
Aryabhatta, he invented the zero.
Mahatma Gandhi, father of the nation, embodiment of non-violence.
Swami Vivekananda, champion of humanitarianism.
Ramanuja, great Indian mathematician.
Rabindranath Tagore, in 1930, he won the Nobel Prize in Literature.
C.V. Raman, 1930, Nobel laureate in physics, work on scattering of light and Raman effects.
Mother Teresa, 1979, Nobel Prize in Peace.
Har Govind Khorana, 1968, Nobel laureate in medicine, work in interpretation of genetic codes.
Subramaniam Chandrasekhar, 1983, Nobel laureate in physics.
Dance from India has a great culture, and one of the important part of every festival in India are dances.
There are 45 folk dances in whole India.
7 classical dance forms. Some of the most famous are Bharatanatyam,
Kathak,
Kathakali,
Kuchipudi,
Manipuri,
Mohiniyattam.
Odissi.
There are more than 15 vocal forms, more than 60 music instruments.
India, God's known country, celebrate more than 65 festivals each month.
Places of historic importance.
Tirumala Tirupati, world's richest temple.
St. Thomas Cathedral, statue of Virgin Mary brought from Portugal in 1543.
The Golden Temple, it is the most important temple for the Sikh community.
Jama Masjid, the biggest mosque in India.
Jama Masjid has an awesome history. Jama Masjid was a bakery before this.
1,000-pillar temple.
It has more than 1,000 pillars.
The gateway of India.
Jantar Mantar is 1716, modernistic structure to observe the movement of stars.
Mysore Palace, illuminated by 97,000 light bulbs.
If you visit Mysore Palace at night, you would be amazed to see the beauty of Mysore Palace.
The Buddha statue, largest monolithic statue in Asia.
Dal Lake, jewel in the crown of Kashmir.
The Taj Mahal.
Calcutta, city of joy. It is a city which was being ruled by British for a long period of time.
Cherrapunji, wettest place on earth.
India is the cattle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of the history, grandmother of the legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition. Our most valuable and most instructive material in the history of man, the man are the treasured up in India only. Mark Twain said that. We owe a lot of Indians who taught us how to count, without which no worthwhile scientific discoveries could have been made. Albert Einstein said the same. Jai Hind, thank you.
Thank you very much. That was very beautiful. We're going to go to Tehran now, Carad School. Go ahead, please. Thank you very much, India.
Thank you.
Excuse me. We're going to go to Turkey. My bad. Sorry. Turkey, go ahead.
Okay, our friend is not here. We are waiting for her. Can someone else present before us?
Yeah, that would be fine. No problem. So, Karad's waiting for a second. Are there any questions for India? If not, I have a video I'm going to share. So let me go to the video. Okay, this happens to be from one of my students called the Beauty of Colombians. The origin of Colombians. It's difficult to think of a single type of Colombian beauty because there are a mix of African American, indigenous, and European genes, which account for a wide history of migration at different periods of recent history. Three universal beauties of the 1990s is Carolina Gomez, Paola Turbay, and Paula Beatriz. Colombian models, Paula Vega. Of course, you cannot miss the woman who is crowned the most beautiful in the universe, maximum representation of Colombia beauty. Second one is Gracie Rendon, the actress and singer who revolutionized social networks with her photographs and videos. Natalia from Bogota, apart from being an actress, is a model and currently starring in the novella. Jessica, formerly presenter of Colombian television, currently resides in Miami, USA, and she is a girlfriend of the singer there. The twins, Mariana and Camille, are two models who have stolen more than one look. Elizabeth is a model and actress. She participated in 2 challenges, Africa and Morocco. Angela is 22 years old, dazzles on Instagram with photographs and videos of exercise routines. Alejandra is a model and representative of Colombia Television. Nina is known as Sammy in the series Parents and Children. She's also a girlfriend of Sebastian Vega and singer Andy Rivera. Jerry was born on December 18th, 1986 in Colombia as Jerry. She's an actress. The culture of Colombia, due to its colonial history, Colombian culture is very similar to that of other Latin American countries. The legacy of Spaniards extends throughout the country, and the indigenous people have distanced themselves from their pre-Colombia roots. A little bit of history about Colombia. In our part of the world, many of our students are from Central and South America, and we happen to have a student that was from Colombia, and she wanted to talk a little about her home country. We also have some other people that did that while we're waiting, but we'll go ahead and go back and talk to you guys. Try to get back to the Zoom. India, tell us a little bit about what school you go to.
Sorry, could you repeat, please?
Oh, okay. We're going to go ahead and go right to, we're going to go right to Turkey. We're going to go ahead.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, how you doing? I see you traveling all over.
Yes.
I want to know, do you ever get to go to school or you just travel?
No, this is our first week in school, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. Welcome back.
Should we start?
Shall we start?
Yes, go ahead. And we have from India and people from Iran watching.
Hello.
Hello from Turkey.
Can you see our screen?
Yeah, we can see.
What is beauty? Beauty is a characteristic of an animal, idea, object, person, or place that provides that perceptual experience of pleasure or satisfaction. Beauty is studied as part of aesthetics, culture, sociology, and ideal beauty is an entity which is admired or possesses feature widely attributed to beauty in particular culture or perfection. Beauty is truth, truth is beauty. That is all. You know on earth, and you all need to know. John Keats.
Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it.
A beautiful thing is never perfect.
Everything changes in time, including beauty. And we have a video about that.
Coffee cups and cigarettes laying around the room. I don't mind a little mess, just wanna stay with you.
Beauty in Turkish culture. In our country, we love things that have meanings. If something has a beautiful meaning, it's automatically beautiful. We care about meanings a lot because of this. For example, all of our names have meanings. The most beautiful names are the ones with the greatest meanings. We care about designs. We have traditional carpets, cups, plates that are really focused on the design. Like these ones. And because there had been so many different civilizations who lived in Anatolia, the understanding of beauty is a wide spectrum. From the Ottoman Empire to the Byzantine Empire to the ancient Greeks, Anatolia is a multicultural beauty.
Female body types through history. Ancient Egyptian women in Egyptian art are often depiced, depicted with slim, high.
Women in Egyptian art are often depicted with slim, high waist and narrow hips, dark black hair, possibly even with a bluish tint, and golden or bright skin for women were considered ideal. Women also wore long braided wigs. Men and women in Egypt routinely shaved their hair and wore wigs instead. Men and women also both wore makeup, namely heavy black eyeliner, and that doubled as protection from the sun.
Ancient Greece, unibrows and bleached curls. While many women today would pluck a thick unibrow, women in ancient Greece liked the look, and many used dark pigments to draw on it. They also bleached their hair in vinegar, which often caused hair loss, so wigs were popular. Long hair was also considered beautiful, as only upper-class women were allowed to grow their hair long.
Super long hair and smudgy eyebrows. In medieval Japan, long hair was prized, so court women grew their hair as long as possible and wore it straight down their backs as a loose ponytail. Their hair would often reach the floor. As they also shaved off their eyebrows and drew on smudgy new ones high up on the forehead, almost near the hairline. Heian beauty included pale skin, round and rosy cheeks, and little bow lips. But because they painted their faces white, their teeth looked yellow in comparison, so they used to paint their teeth black.
Renaissance Italy. High foreheads and strawberry blonde hair. Women's beauty at this time was tied to a virtue, and a beautiful woman was thought to be a virtuous one. A full figure with a rounded stomach was considered beautiful and linked to motherhood, and pale skin signified a life away from labor. Other must-haves were strawberry blonde curls and a high forehead. Women of this time bleached their hair and plucked their hairlines to get this look.
Double chines and white skin. An oval face was prized, and so was a slight double chin and dimpled rosy cheeks. Hair was also powered to give it a white or gray look, and wings were popular. To achieve the look of a pale skin, many women wore heavy white makeup, often made with poisonous lead and mercury. To cover up scars left by smallpox, men and women alike wore beauty patches, small pieces of black fabric pasted to the face over the scars.
The Edwardian era. Tousled hair and hourglass figure. After the idolized frailty of the Victorian woman, women of the late 1890s got slightly more robust. The hourglass figure with a small waist, accented by full bosom and hips, were all the rage at this time, and women wore tight corsets to imitate the ideal shape. Slightly tousled hair and symmetrical face came to symbolize this period's ideal beauty.
The Roaring Twenties, a slim silhouette and open hair. Thanks to women's suffrage, women in 1920s had newfound freedoms and power, and showed it through their looks. Flapper, as they were known, chopped their hair into boobs and started showing off their legs. A slim, boyish silhouette became all the rage in reaction to the frail Victorian ideal, and women started to believe in athletic build.
1950s, flawless skin and curvy shape. Thanks to the advent of electric lights and lighted mirrors, this period saw women becoming more and more anxious about having flawless skin, hair, and teeth. It was also when teenage girls started buying beauty products. While corsets had long abandoned by 50s, women still wore a lot of shapewear to achieve an hourglass shape. The most famous was the new iconic Coimbra.
1960s. Beauty ideals like fashion are cyclical. So it's no surprise that the flapper-like body shape came back, as did short, smooth hairstyles. Even underwear started to change to reflect the new shape. Thanks to models like Twiggy, the look of big doe eyes with close-up thick eyelashes was all the rage. But the rest of the face was kept fresh with natural color makeup.
1980s and apprehension of diversity and big hair for all. By the 1980s, people started to celebrate beauty in other ethnicities. More diverse models and celebrities started taking center stage. But one thing did unite them: fish hair. A dramatically sculpted face was also in style, and the look was achieved through contouring makeup.
Standards of male beauty over the last 100 years. 1920s. Everybody's losing their minds over the cinema and Rudolph Valentino, the silent movie star. Almost every man with sleek hair parted in the middle, like this leading man of Hollywood, automatically became ultimately handsome.
The world copies stars more and more. The image of male beauty is an athletic body with good posture, broad shoulders, narrow hips, and strong muscles. The famous Clark Gable whiskers became the peak of fashion.
The principal image of men during World War II was Sir masculine, dressed by the book, and cleanly shaved as was required by wartime.
1950s. The 50s were signified by the rockabilly style and Elvis Presley, tall and handsome, who sighed into the mic and danced his famous trick. The most popular hairstyle was a quiff above the forehead.
1950s. Thousands of copycats emerged after the showing of the Wild One with Marlon Brando. Young men ride their motorcycles, wear leather jackets, and call themselves doughboys.
1960s. At that time, a Hindalon was a symbol of male beauty, a talented and athletic young man with boyish features and the sensual look of dreamy blue eyes was considered the perfect male.
The end of the decade was signified by hippies and psychedelic rock. Jim Morrison, the frontman of The Doors, was perfectly charming with his unique charisma and deep lyrics. Just one look at him and girls felt wild sexual ecstasy and young men went for outrageous deeds.
1970s. While hippies conquer the world and men are not discernible from women, Arnold Schwarzenegger becomes sevenfold Mr. Olympia. Ladies go crazy, gentlemen get jealous, give a standing ovation, and go to do something training.
1980s. Baywatch becomes one more reason to try sports. Although now the spotlight is on athletic men with a smooth, suntan, prominent muscles, and of course red shorts.
1990s. The 19th was the era of grunge rock music that gave birth to a new generation of people who didn't care what they were and how they looked. Just look at Kurt Cobain, the star of Nirvana. His careless attitude, however, didn't stop him from being really handsome and driving thousands of fans crazy.
2000s. The era of metrosexuality. David Beckham becomes the perfect man, a professional soccer player, having all the attributes of an alpha male, the six-pack, professional haircut, and expensive clothes. The great thing about looking through the past is that we can see that many different types of beauty have been appreciated and celebrated through the ages. We are actually pretty lucky. Thanks to our access to images from the past, we can see that beauty really does come in all forms. Thanks for listening.
Oh, thank you so much. That was very beautiful. I was missing all the good-looking Turkish drama people. Okay, well, that was very good, guys.
Thank you. you.
And welcome back to school. I guess traveling all over Italy and everything, you must get tired, so eventually have to come back to school, right?
Yes.
Oh, man. It sounds like you had a blast for the summer. That was really good. We're going to go to Karad, Iran. Iran, are you guys ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello. We are from Iran.
Hello, my name is Jessica, and I'll be going over haute couture, which is also known as high fashion. Now, this was a creation of exclusive custom-fitting clothes. It is high fashion that is constructed by hand from start to finish and made from high-quality materials, and it's often expensive and unusual. I'll be going over Alexander McQueen as my first designer. He recently did pass away, but here are some of his most known designs on the website, and they are for sale. These are very unique. The first one is a leather biker midi dress, which retails for $5,000, I mean. The second one is a bug embroidered evening dress, and that one retails for $105,000. And the other one is a sequence evening dress for $20,000. Next designer we're going over is Vianney Westwood. She, I believe, is in her 70s. These are some of her designs on her websites that are on sale right now. Very interesting, and some of her designs kind of resemble mid-Renaissance fair type of wear. Next designer is Garrett Puch, which is a fairly young designer in the market right now. And I couldn't find any of his stuff on sale, but here are some pictures of his designs on the runway, which are very artistic and don't really look like the average person's wardrobe. Next designer is Rick Owens. Here are some of his designs from the website. These are in euros, but the euros is fairly $1.25 converted. Here are some of his wares. He tends to lean with stuff that are longer. He pushes the boundaries on the status quo. This is Hussein Chalayan. Here are some of his designs. He also designed one of Lady Gaga's most iconic dresses, which is the bubble dress that she wore in her tour, and I believe in many occasions. This is Tom Brown, and he tends to wear shorts as a formal dress wear as a signature. Here are some of his designs, which are weird, but they are very fascinating. And these can retail up to $43,000, and the lowest being $6,000. This is Christian Lacroix. Here are some of his designs. I also couldn't find anything on sale from his website, but here are some of his designs from the runway.
And the middle design, I believe, is not from the 2000s, but actually earlier designs. Next one is Rei Kawakubo, and she designs stuff that doesn't really look like something you could wear, but she tends to, I found that a lot of her designs are very circular and almost like a sphere shape. And that is it for my presentation. That is high fashion, which